My name is David Runciman, and I'm the Professor of Politics at Cambridge University. I also host a podcast that goes out every week called Talking Politics. Welcome to my exp. So in some respects, digital technology, social networks and social media have been a wonderful enhancement of democracy, because a core democratic principle is that everybody should have a voice. In non-democratic systems, authoritarian systems, individual voice is stifled, and you have to be a certain kind of person with a certain kind of power or connection to be heard. And in a democracy, the hope is, the ideal is, that you can be heard whoever you are. And this technology has, by getting rid of many of the barriers in the way of ordinary people having a voice, allowed much, much more access, not just to information, but to platforms from which people can communicate. And that is a plus for democracy. And I think it would be a mistake to assume that it's all bad. But something can be good for democracy and bad for democracy at the same time, because we also see that this same technology, in the same moment when it's giving everybody a voice, is also concentrating power and concentrating voice and authority in narrower and narrower spheres. So the platform that Mark Zuckerberg created, Facebook, gives many ordinary people real access to democratic forms of community. And at the same time, that platform is owned by one person effectively, who makes the rules and is answerable to almost no one. And it's the same platform. The same thing can be both good for us and bad for us democratically. The other thing I would say more broadly is that I think that representative democracy, the systems that we have that have evolved, particularly in the last 100 years, were designed to correct for certain basic human impulses, including what you might call our cognitive biases. So human beings all have a tendency to misunderstand the world. We all focus too much on the present. We focus too much on our own experiences. We have various biases in favor of things that we're familiar with. We assume the world is like the things that we recognize. We have biases in favor of the kinds of people that we know. None of us is particularly good at imaginatively understanding how very different lives are lived. And representative democracy was designed to correct for some of that. So it slows politics down in some ways. There are delays between decisions and elections. It's not necessarily immediate. People's views are pooled and qualified in parliaments, in other forms of debate, through mass media. We access information through newspapers, but that information is often slow. It can even be out of date. And these things help us moderate our tendency to think too quickly and to rush to judgment. Digital technology, particularly through the form of these giant social networks, it works with our cognitive biases. It encourages us to think quickly. It encourages immediate responses. It encourages forms of communication that are direct and are unmediated, so that if we feel something, if we respond to something, if we're angry, if we're upset, we have a means of passing our anger on straight away. And that really does cut against what representative democracy was meant to do for us, which was to allow us collectively to reach judgments on big political questions that were not impulsive. And democracy in the age of social media is increasingly driven by immediate impulses, because that's the business model of the platforms on which this democracy is happening. I mean, after all, the social media industry is basically a form of advertising. Its business model is advertising. And advertising, particularly in the age of Amazon, never mind Facebook, is designed to sell us stuff fast, impulsively, and relentlessly. And fast, impulsive, relentless politics can be bad for democracy. It's too quick, it's too impulsive, it's not reflective. So that's the other threat, I think, that this technology poses. It cuts against the ways in which we've built institutions that are designed to moderate our impulses. So our immediate experience of digital technology is our interface with these platforms, and many of our experiences are positive. I think we all know it's good and bad. It's frustrating, it's addictive, it's relentless. A lot of it is superficial and trivial, but it's also amazing. I work as an academic, I'm a teacher. I have access to information, to books, to ideas that I couldn't get before. I have immediate access to those ideas. I don't have to wait. I can find things out. I can follow a line of thought to unexpected places. I can communicate with people anywhere in the world. That's the immediate experience of it, the interface. But a lot of what's going on is hidden from us. The surveillance is hidden from us. We're aware of it, but we don't see it. We see the adverts popping up, but we don't really have a good idea of who's watching us and how. The ownership is hidden from us. So we experience Facebook or Amazon, but we don't really, in experiencing it, recognize the ways in which the power of these corporations is so narrow, so huge, so unaccountable. And the last thing I would say is I don't think it's just hidden from us. So in a way, the thing that scares me most about this technology is that I'm not sure anyone understands its full political implications, including the people who own it.